Stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. It's triple bastard dark roast. Nice. And it is a good Friday morning. What time is it now? It's about 4:30. Got a good night's sleep. It is quiet. Having some coffee. Are you joining me this early? Gentlemen, money matters. Ask anyone, any man who was ever broke, if money matters. Ask any man whose wife split because of financial issues. Ask any man who works 3 jobs if money matters. Ask any career woman who wants to find a guy to marry so she doesn't have to work. And you'll see that money matters. I've been in all of those situations. Money matters. You know, it's interesting if you're a bird person, you know the songs and the sounds of all the birds that come to your bird feeders and your bird bath and bird houses. And then all of a sudden you hear a sound that you never heard before. And you run to the window to see what it is. I call it the simple pleasures of a quiet home. If you don't have a quiet home, you don't get to hear the birds. I mean, if you're always running the stereo, if there's TVs on everywhere, guess what? You don't get to hear what's outside. Many times opening the windows and just letting the sounds of nature come in is a beautiful thing. It's all right, Betsy. The sounds of nature. It's fascinating as I get up at about 10 minutes of 4 every morning, wake up, and the alarm is set for 4 o'clock. So usually I'm down in the kitchen making coffee by the time the alarm goes off. And about 4:30, I start hearing birds outside as if it's nature's alarm clock. No questions asked. Every day, 7 days a week, the birds start at about 4:30. So it's kind of interesting if you keep your windows open in your room and you don't use air conditioning. A lot of times if you use the AC, you got to close all the windows. I don't use the AC except on the hottest of the hottest days. And you have a window open, you might have a fan blowing in the room to circulate the air, but you start hearing the bird songs at about 4:30, and it's absolutely magnificent. It's such a great way to wake up. Something you should explore. I love this cartoon. Dude says, "Ooh, a thought." Shows this woman, typical like American woman, saying, "I need male attention." And then the next frame is the very same guy going, "Ah, a patriot," and she's wearing like a MAGA hat. But the words are the same. "I need male attention." It reminded me of during the Trump campaign several years ago when you started seeing like American flag bikinis. That's a Trojan horse right there. That means absolutely nothing. Big giant crosses around their neck. Yeah. That right there is a double threat. An American flag bikini and a cross around her neck. 2 good reasons. And listen, I love America. And I love Christianity and Christ. But you put those 2 things together on a woman, virtue signaling, it's still a woman that wants attention. And you already know what I think about crosses dangling from women's necks. Who would be your dream dinner guest? She says, "My dream dinner guest is Jesus." Whenever I see a woman interject any kind of religion, especially in a situation like this, to me that's like virtue signaling. So I'm supposed to come to a conclusion based upon your answer that you want Jesus as a dinner guest. I'm supposed to think like you're a nice person, you go to church, you're holy, you have a cross above your bed. Let's see, is she wearing a cross? No, she's not. Good. That means, okay, that's good. That means the cross is not dangling on a man's scrotum. So that's a good thing. Another man, married a long time, says she's not happy. She's just not happy. No intimacy in the relationship, the marriage. Possibly she's getting it elsewhere. You don't know for sure. Found one of my videos called "You Are Not Broken." Did something to the man right here. Because the first thing you think, if your woman is straying or on her way out, is that you did something wrong. You know the classic, it's not you, it's me. How many here ever had that happen? It's not you, it's me. It makes it better, right? It makes it so much better when it's her and not you. It just hurts less, right? Oh, the mind of a woman. Honest to God. Yeah, that makes it better. I love these memes with the kind of like the Becky woman versus the Karen woman. Do you want to ignore all of the woke propaganda, build a thriving marriage based on traditional roles, and start a big family with me? And of course, the response is always yes. Girlfriends don't get wife benefits. Guys, stop giving girlfriends wife benefits. Women play you guys. They play you up. Seriously. It used to be the girl that says, put a ring on it. Now guys are just being taken by the same type of women. They don't care about a ring anymore. Don't waste your money on a ring. These are my thoughts. You're going to think this is crazy, but hear me out. If you get married, there's a wedding band. After a year, there's a 1-year ring. 5 years, a 5-year ring. 10 years, then a 10-year ring, which might be a diamond ring at that point. But this whole 3-month salary business to put a rock on a woman's hand with no guarantee about anything. Because the modern woman, a woman who has running water, a woman who is westernized, a woman who has a cell phone, she has many options. Every woman's cell phone is a box of dicks. The man she is cheating with is on her phone. On Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. She's watching somebody on YouTube that she's going to make a move on. Like a predatory lion, a panther. I told you last week she already knows who she's going to cheat with. She already knows who she's going to monkey branch with. She already knows who she's going to after she leaves you. Already knows that. It's already in the works. And that person is on her phone. She's either following them or they are following her. Even the woman who says, I'm not on social media. They're all on social media. Girlfriends don't get wife benefits, but they want to be treated like a wife. The beloved wife goes to Flemings Steakhouse with you. A girlfriend goes to the Waffle House with you. My brothers, stop treating girlfriends like wives. No more $300 special dinners. Being a girlfriend is primarily a woman auditioning to be a wife. Courtship, to be a wife. Dating is such a waste. Dating is just basically, yeah, I dated this guy for a while. You mean you were just this guy for a while? As the woman said, as her body count went up, her value went down. Women trick themselves into thinking that they are valuable, especially if they are career women.
Why did I divorce my husband? I divorced my husband because I was making a certain amount of money. I divorced my husband because I thought I didn't need him anymore. I divorced my husband because I had this senior position at work and thought I held the same position at home. I divorced my husband because I thought I was better than him because I had my degree now. I divorced my husband because I thought a successful marriage meant I was here and he was down here. That is not success. That's fucking sickness. I found myself divorced and out there looking for love in all the wrong places, and my body count going up and my value going down. I'm just going to call it like a TI is. All the while, my husband done found somebody else building a relationship and building a life with them. I should have stayed married to my husband. I felt like I was on this dark road with no street lights, pitch dark, and I couldn't find my way and didn't know which way to go. I felt lost. I felt hurt. I felt alone because every time he and that one and this one and that one left my bed, I was alone all by myself. And which was supposed to be soft and comfortable for me, my pillow, it was now filled with tears. I should not have left my husband.
He doesn't need you. He never needed you. He wanted you. He gave you the opportunity to create a piece of him, not to destroy the piece in him.
Then something. Man value increase with time. Woman value decrease. Okay?
Opinion, this is why a lot of good men are just done with relationship. Either they got fucked over or used because you be gold diggers, and when the next dick comes along, if it's attached to a man that has more money, you're jumping.
I knew it was a good catch. Good woman, educated, great career, amazing mom, and I was a great wife. Cook, clean, do all that. So I kind of was a little arrogant and thought, oh, it's no problem. I'm going to be married in 2 to 3 years. Well, it's been a long, long time. And honestly, not even gotten close.
Now, this is just me speaking firsthand. But if you truly believe that the one is just going to show up while you're getting your back blown out by some random that don't deserve no legacy, I'm telling you it's not going to happen. And if he does show up, you're going to ruin it. And they talking about not being boyfriend material when they don't even have the mindset of a girlfriend, let alone a wife.
Oh, I have my degree. Really? What's it worth? If you keep sleeping with man after man after man every couple of years until you finally settle with some simp somewhere, but you keep thinking about your alpha who you had a good time with, who flew you around the world, who banged you to next Tuesday, whose cross was dangling in your mouth. Remember, there's a difference between Fleming's Steakhouse and the Waffle House. Practice accordingly, gentlemen. But there is an endless supply of simps out there, and the ladies know it, and they take advantage of it. One guy said to me, "Don't even take a wife out for a $300 dinner. What's the matter with you? What's wrong with a birthday or an anniversary? Something special. That's okay." Gentlemen, stop working out. Stop going to the gym. After all, you don't want to tempt a hitched woman, a married woman, or someone in a long-term relationship. You don't want to tempt them to cheat or regret being with their man, do you? Because you are pro-man, right? Like I am. We're pro-men. We want the best for men. So stop working out and tempting those women in relationships. Because it's all your fault, buddy, that she cheats. It's all your fault that she left her husband. It's all your fault that she's texting you while she has a boyfriend. It's your fault. Those innocent creatures are so vulnerable to a jacked and tan man. Stop investing in a woman that isn't your wife. Stop it. Remember, Flemings versus Waffle House. Do you have a Flemings girl or a Waffle House girl? If she doesn't follow God, there's no way she's ever going to follow her husband's lead. That is just a fact. Absolute fact. Doesn't matter how godly the man is. I know pastors, good guys, married for 30 plus years, whose wife said, I don't want to do this wife thing anymore. Good guys, authors of books, upstanding members of society. I don't want to be married anymore. I don't want to be a wife anymore. Just one day, up and gone. If it happens to a guy like that, who else can it happen to? I should have him on the show. He's probably watching right now. Here's a story for you. It's kind of weird how some smoke show women, when I say smoke show, a woman that is just beautiful face, beautiful body, head to toe, just very attractive and desirable. It's amazing how some smoke show women who I knew years ago, kind of like the crazy sex weekend girls, the ones that only come up for air and a bottle of water on the nightstand. They're now doing the trad thing and playing house. I didn't say married. They don't get married. Doing the trad thing, playing house, with a nice conservative guy. Might even wear a MAGA hat, a camo hat. Like one of these kind of guys, Second Amendment, Punisher hat. You know what I'm talking about. Good guy, a good guy. but still a simp. This woman is painting used furniture, tending gardens, wearing long dresses, having long flowing hair pulled back, bare feet, minimal makeup. That's not the woman you knew, though, is it? She's now talking about homesteading, chickens and goats. While Brad, when I say Brad, I mean I go Brad versus Chad. Brad is just kind of like the catch-all name for the average simp. My apologies to anyone whose actual name is Brad. Think about the name Chad. Like, I know two guys named Chad. What a crazy name to live up to, as Chad has become the stereotype for the tall, jacked and tan man who has a fat wallet and a rotation of like 8 women. Chad. She's living with Brad. Brad's working his butt off. He's providing. He has a nice house. And Brad is thinking that he totally scored. And to top it off, she texts me years after. I haven't heard from her in years. Maybe we can get together sometime. I love this one. Maybe an outdoor art show or music in the park. What's the matter? Brad doesn't like art or music? I guess I made an impact several years ago. My question is, but what about Brad? Her exact answer back to me is this. Now listen up. I'm allowed and free to be me. That's the only kind of relationship I allow. So Brad went into the relationship, brought her into his home, and agreed to allow her to be her. Interesting. Long dress, bare feet, hair pulled back, minimal makeup. Last time I saw her, she was hog-tied and had whipped cream all over her. She texts me a picture of her and Brad. I reply, that's nice, but I'm going to crop Brad out of that picture. Now get it, I'm not the aggressor here. I haven't seen this woman in a long time. Years. Many, many years. She texts back, and she's laughing. LOL. Laughing face, laughing face, laughing face. And she says, you'll always have a place in my heart. Next statement was, so when are we getting together? Honey, all I know is I didn't have a place in your heart. I had a place in your pants. That's about it. Heart had nothing to do with it. So why are you texting me while Brad is in the other room? That's what I want to know. That is a true story, gentlemen. Now you tell me the moral of the story. And some people have moralized me and said, I love this one. I mean, this really is a great reply. Dude says, the moral of the story is you should recognize the hard-fought joy as a married couple and quit tempting her to break her vows. Hard-fought joy. Can't make this stuff up. You know, every simp deserves every single thing he gets. I'm not going to be the punisher. That's not my role in life, is to be someone's punisher. But simps deserve everything they're going to get. You want to whip out that wallet? You want to flex a little bit with your little trad girl? How's that working for you? Some people said you should screenshot those texts and send them to Brad. I want nothing to do with Brad. I got nothing against him. But I think, you know, there was a song in the 70s, song called Everybody Plays the Fool. And that is true. At one point or another in our lifetime as men, we all play the fool. Some do it 2 times, 3 times. Some never learn. Some play the fool their whole life. What's it going to take to have a wake-up call in your life? Men will waste weeks, months, and even years with a woman only to have her say, I'm not happy, or I'm going somewhere else, or I'm not leaving my country. I can't do this. It's not you, it's me. Gentlemen, when are you going to wake up? That's why shows like this exist, to help men wake up. And for those that are married, you know what you have to do to fortify your marriage. But it is amazing how some people have written me saying, thank you for your help. Nayla writes, my dad was my king. I was his only daughter. I don't have a close relationship with any wise men right now. That's why I'm thankful for your channel, Mr. Bruno. You are the wisest man on YouTube. My dad told me there will be other wise men in my life after his passing. Thank you, Daddy. I miss you. Nayla, you are welcome. I am happy to be for lack of a better term, a surrogate father to many. Being married to or dating an unpleasable woman, that's a thing. The woman who can just never be pleased, she's never happy no matter what you do. Their issue becomes your issue. Nothing you ever do or say will ever work to make her content. Nothing. They don't want solutions until you completely lose yourself. And then that won't be enough. Gentlemen, if you're thinking of getting out of a relationship, I do coaching for that. It's not cheap, but neither is staying in a relationship or a marriage that you don't want to be in. You know I say date long, marry slow, and if you're going to get divorced, divorce fast, because most of the trauma and chaos that men go through happens during the divorce process. In the same way that a woman has been thinking about leaving you for 6 months to a year and planning it and just waiting for the right time to just drop the bomb on you, you need to do some planning. I can help you with that. It's a weird skill set that I have of helping people get out of relationships, but it can be done. Here's an interesting little thing. Many women will have sex with other men, other than you, thinking it's going to break the spell and help them fall out of love. The only thing that gets serially broken is their own heart. It's kind of like this paradoxical effect. Hence, the endless graveyard of men's hearts and their heart behind them for decades. I've seen it 1,000 times. If that happened to you, just send me a note. Let me know. Give me your story. Your good Christian girl was talking with another guy long before she left you, long before she dropped the bomb. She lied about it. She even told you that she's been loyal. She created her own definition of loyal. And believe me, the pendant around her neck was dancing on his scrotum within a couple days of leaving you. You hate to hear that. I hate to say that. It's happened to most of us. Women actually cheat more than men. They're not these little angels that you think. They literally, the stats show, women cheat more than men. One of the things that supports that is that 70% of all divorces are initiated by the woman. That number goes up as high as 90% if she's educated. So as men, let's get that into our head. Oh, I found a woman, she's different. Okay, I found a good woman. I will parrot what other people have said. There's no such thing as a good woman. There's just a woman who might be doing good or have good qualities. But women are women, men are men. Let's look at human nature and stop living in this idealized world. Personally, I think that we are MGTOWing ourselves into non-existence. I honestly believe that. Like in one breath, I'm saying, women are really difficult. They're duplicitous. They have several different personalities. It just reminds me of, like, in the movie The Exorcist, the priest would have to ask, the Linda Blair character, as she was, like, tied, to the bed, and the demons were just, like, making her writhe. And the priest would say things like, "Who am I speaking with?" And the demon would have to identify itself. There's so many times that you might have to say, "Who am I speaking with now? Am I talking to my wife?" I remember I used to say, "Are you my wife? Who are you? Are you my wife?" And she'd say, "Yes, I'm your wife." But whenever I would sense like something was a little bit off, I'd have to ask, "Are you my wife? Like, who the hell am I speaking with now?" Because sometimes you come across as a different person. But are we MGTOWing? Are men going their own way? Are we doing that so much while every other culture is promoting and practicing being fruitful and multiplying? Are we MGTOWing ourselves into non-existence? I've said for years that health is wealth. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. Nothing. Another thing that I would add to that is this. Family is wealth. Who can you lean on? Just because someone is a blood relative doesn't mean you can lean on them. Some of you already know that. I've experienced that. Do I love them? Yes. Will I have anything to do with them? No. But another thing of wealth is having a bunch of kids. Seriously, I've been saying this. You heard me say this a few weeks ago. I wish I've been married for 35 years and have 10 kids. I don't want to be one of these guys that says, well, it just wasn't in the cards. But the reality is I have regrets. And of course, my face is going to change now as soon as I start talking about regrets. Family is wealth. But your mission, if you choose to accept it, is find a woman worthy of your seed who can bear your children, if that's where you want to go. It really is satisfying. If you have kids, it's very satisfying. On to other topics. Good job, ladies. You got your career, your girl and solo vacations, your new fuckboy every few years, your Botox, your hormonal birth control, where you can get on your back, put your legs up in the air, anytime, any place, anywhere, and the inverted use of everything that God equipped you with to create life and build something that will outlive you. Good job. Good job. Standing ovation for you. What do you have to show for now, other than breasts that are used to attract a man and a vagine with stuff going into it and no babies coming out of it? That's the inverted use, the perversion of your body. How does a woman do the will of God? Having babies. I said this to men back in 2019 when I was on stage. I said the highest and best use of your sexual apparatus is to make babies. I'm going to say the same thing to women. With men, you morally invert the use of your sexual apparatus by poking holes, having a rotation, sticking it in strange women, thinking with that rather than that. Women, you invert the use, the godly use of your body to attract men with your sexuality rather than using it with God's will to create life and sustain life. That's the first use. The second use of your body is to please your husband. There's a reason why that we are attracted to one another. God did not have to make sex feel good. God could have just said, insert A into B, and 9 months later, a baby will be born. No, he made it feel good. God created pleasure. Sex is pleasurable. But if it doesn't lead to making life, what is it? It's just pleasure. It's short-circuiting what God created. There are women who've spent their entire lives short-circuiting God's creation, accepting a man's living seed. Men, the most valuable substance in the world is your seed. It's alive. It's dynamic. It creates life. It takes something that is dormant and turns it into life. And that's the wealth that I'm talking about, making children. And then, of course, the next burden of proof on the man is to not just be a father, but to be a dad to those kids and provide for that woman. That's why men feel so discouraged many times. They do so much and get nothing back. That really stinks. I know many of you, especially the new subscribers, you can't handle so much truth in one day. It's too much for many to handle. But for those that can handle it, finish your coffee, and I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.